Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be starting a reading vlog. So ignore the hair and the outfit and the mess behind me, just ignore it all. But we're going to start a reading vlog, and if you've been watching recently, well, there hasn't been that many videos for you to watch, sorry, but the main reason is because I've been in a reading slump and I've been talking about that a lot, and I've already put up one video trying to combat that, and that did help, and it kind of made me realize that. So I'm in a slump, obviously, but I'm not really. The thing is, I have so many video ideas and I'm like, oh, I need to read this, this, and this so I can film this video so I can get that up. And the truth is, I'm just not in the mood for those books. And so I'm not reading those books. And so I'm like, well, I can't read anything else because I need to read this book. So basically, I'm just doing a bit of a random reading vlog where I just read what I want. And that way I'm filming content. And number two, reading. And then hopefully by reading just what I want, eventually I'll be in the mood for those like chunkier fantasies that I'm like putting off for no good reason. But also, see, I might title this Reading Until I Get a 5-star, but because that is the original plan. But if we're being honest, it took me like 3 years. I'm not at all dramatic, but that could take a while, so I'm like not gonna actually stick to that. I'm going to say, actually, you know what, I'll say, okay, we're gonna read until we get a 5-star, but I'm also going to allow myself to include rereads in that 5-star because that might be our only hope. So like if I'm after reading like 6 books and I still haven't got a 5-star and I have like 3 hours worth of footage, I'm gonna just reread something, be like, oh, I got a 5-star, done. But for now, we're gonna just read what we want. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to pick up right now. I'm kind of leaning towards the second book in the Lady Hardcastle mystery series, which I'm not sure, is that a good idea or not? Because I only just read the first one, and like I feel like I shouldn't read them too close together. They're like good palate cleansers, but also I just kind of want to read the next one, so I think I might read that. And then also it's my birthday tomorrow, and so I am almost definitely going to be going book shopping, and by that I mean I am, that's my plan for tomorrow. But I'm getting books as well. I think I might read, it's like a 6th book in the Marie Brennan series, but it doesn't actually follow Lady Trent, which the first 5 books do. I think it follows her granddaughter. I think the 6th book, it's Darkness into Light or something. I think I might read that tomorrow when I get it, or start it, or whatever. And then I'm not sure about anything else. I'm gonna just go with it. So I have started playing Hades again. I loved that game a couple of years ago, and then I just, you know, with everything in my life I go through phases, and so I didn't forget about it, but I just wasn't playing it. And then I saw stuff being spoken about Hades 2, and I got very excited, and then I broke out the Switch and I put Hades on, and number one, oh boy have I gotten bad at it. Like I used to be able to actually play the game, and I had to turn on God mode, which is basically, it helps you, it gives you resistance, damage resistance. I was like button smashing. I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. I will say I'm getting back there again, so that's good. I'm getting the skills back, but yeah, it was a challenge, but I'm having a fun time with it. So it's very much audiobook season, let's just say. So yeah, so we're working away on that. And then, as I said, so audiobooks, so the first book that I have read for this vlog and I have finished is, oh, what's it called? A Mystery, a Murder, I remember what it's called. Anyways, the second one, again, I like this. I liked the first one as well. So we follow Lady Hardcastle and her maid Flo as they try to solve some mysteries together. And a mystery at the market, is that it? Or a marketplace mystery or something. Mystery at the marketplace? I don't know. Something like that. But in this one, so we follow on a couple of months after the first one, and there is a potential murder. They're unsure. It looks like it could have been poison, but also people were saying that he was poorly anyway. And a police officer from the first book shows up at their house and is like, do you want to look into it? I'm busy. Which I just found so funny. And they're like, yeah, sure we will. And I don't think this will ever be like a favorite series, but like they're so much fun. It was fine to just put on while I played. I give it a 4 stars, so not the 5-star we were looking for, which I already kind of knew. But also, the 3 5-stars that I've given this year have been surprises, so I was hoping maybe it would be a surprise. Because the 3 that I've given is Sword Heart, a fantasy romance, which I've never given a 5-star before. And also, I was giving up on Tea Kingfisher, and I was like, one more try! So, surprise. Then the second one was Jade City, which is not much of a surprise because I knew I was going to like it, but I kind of assumed the first book would be a 4-star and then like the second or third one would be a 5-star. But I actually ended up giving the first book a 5-star, which is great. And then the third 5-star I've given this year is Happy Place by Emily Henry, a contemporary romance, which I've only ever given one a 5-star before. So yeah, so I was hoping for a surprise. We did not get a surprise, but that's okay. Still really enjoy the banter and the dynamic between Lady Hardcastle and her maid Flo. They're really funny. They're a very entertaining duo. Great old time. And then, what was my other thing? But I did, again, kind of have the same complaint as I did with the first one, which is like, you're like really getting into like this one mystery and then just like 5 more get added in and you're like, okay, take a deep breath. We don't need all these, I don't think. I have started my second book, which is Turning Darkness into Light, I believe is the name, which is the 6th book technically in the Memoirs of Lady Trent, but this does not follow Lady Trent. So this is set actually around the same time that in the original series, that she is like in the future looking back, writing down these memoirs, because like there are mentions of it, and we actually follow her granddaughter, and she has been tasked with translating these old like tablets, and it's kind of mixed media. There's like interviews, there's diaries and all of that, so like it's really fun. I'm having a good time. Again, probably going to be a 4-star, but I'm not super far into it, but I'm having a good time so far. So yeah, that's all the updates. Hello. So I finished book 2. So this is Turning Darkness into Light by Marie Brennan. So this is the 6th book in the Memoirs of Lady Trent series, but this one does not follow Lady Trent. I'm not sure, have I given you the synopsis or not? I'm giving this a 4-star, but it's probably one of my least favorite in the series. It's a lower kind of 4-star. This and what was the other one? Within the Sanctuary of the Wings, which was the last one, are probably my least favorite. In the Sanctuary of the Wings, there's something that happens, like a plot reveal, that just, I don't know, it fell a bit flat for me. I didn't love it. And so obviously because of that thing, it affects how things are in this book, and so I don't really care as much about it. That's putting it lightly. So like that already affected my enjoyment, but like I was trying to enjoy this as its own thing. But I much preferred the style of storytelling in the original series. Like I think just like Lady Trent's like kind of quirky writing, like it's obviously all her memoirs. I just much preferred that over this, over like the mixed media. I just like preferred her character voice than Audrey, though I did like Audrey, and I liked all of the characters. I thought they were all interesting. I liked how we've seen the world has evolved since the original series and all of this stuff. Like I liked all of that, but I think probably the biggest thing that made me not like this as much as the original series is I am a science girly. Whereas if you are like a language girly, like a linguistics girly, like I think you will enjoy like this, and like it's so clear that Marie Brennan had put like a lot of thought into like how these translations would work and all of this kind of stuff, and I do find that like really impressive. But like that whole process doesn't interest me as much as like in the original series she's doing very much like science, like trying to like do her research and all this kind of stuff. Like that's much more my style, and so I just overall connected more to that. But like I don't think this was bad. I think it was a fun little add-on to see kind of like how everything changes and all of that kind of stuff, and I liked it. But it's not your favorite. Okay, next I'm gonna try The Witness for the Dead by Catherine Addison. Hello, so it's been a little bit since I last updated you, so I have now finished The Witness for the Dead by Catherine Addison, and I will say, like, I'm not doing halfway updates just because, like, I have a feeling that I will read a few books in this, and, like, I don't want it to be, like, 3 hours long, so I'm just doing, like, updates at the end. But, like, if it's also most of the books I've read so far, all of the books I've read so far have been, like, pretty short ones. So, like, this is, like, just over 300 pages. I think most of them have been around the 300 page mark, so that's why. But when I get to some chunkier ones, I will start to update you more, don't worry. But so this is a kind of spin-off to The Goblin Emperor. I would definitely recommend reading that first because you won't know anything about this world. Because when I said about it, Emma or Maria or both said that, like, make sure you don't leave too long between them because it really does just throw you right back into the world. Like, in The Goblin Emperor, they very much introduce you to the world, the different kinds of creatures. The language in here is a lot. Like, there's a lot of we's as, like, an I and all of this kind of stuff. And I love that kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff. Like, it really, for me, builds a world when, like, they play with all that kind of stuff. I love that. I love it in books. So if you have any books that do that, tell me. But I think it just really shows that an author has, like, really thought about every single aspect of this world. And but as I said, you would definitely want to not like too long. But we don't really, like, we follow a character that we meet in that original series. Character, I think, is Tara. I'm not 100% sure of the pronunciation. And he is a witness for the dead, and that basically means, like, if he kind of, like, he can, like, kind of talk to spirits, but if a body is gone, like, but if someone is dead for too long, then he can't, and there's a whole lot of stuff that comes with that. But we follow him as he is doing his job, basically, and I really enjoyed this. I'm giving it a 4-star, so not the 5-star I wanted, but a 4-star still good. And I guess a lot of people don't like this as much as The Goblin Emperor, and I didn't either. I gave The Goblin Emperor, like, a really high 4-star. Like, it was just short the 5-star. It just, like, dragged on. Like, if it was, like, 50 pages less, I think I would have given it a 5-star. I did like it a little less, but honestly not that much less. I did overall really enjoy this. I was kind of surprised by how much I enjoyed it just because I haven't heard as positive things. I've heard, like, more mixed things about it. But, like, it is very similar to The Goblin Emperor, not in, like, it is and it isn't, because it is very much kind of slice of life, just like The Goblin Emperor is, but obviously they're in different professions and all of this, and, like, it's different characters and all of that. But so The Goblin Emperor is, like, it is the day-to-day running of an empire. Like, he finds out he is now the emperor, he is thrust into this role, and he is surrounded by people, and he has to learn how to do his job, and we follow the day-to-day of it. Like, people coming to him asking for things, there's people scheming behind his backs, but he's, like, a very sweet, positive character to read about, and it's, like, really nice to read about him. And whereas this one is, like, it's, like, has, like, little elements of, like, murder mystery, but, like, without kind of, like, the dramatics of a murder mystery. Like, he's literally just there doing his job. He's, like, a little tired and exasperated. He's been through a lot in his life, and this kind of a job, like, being able to hear spirits and all of this, it takes a toll on someone. And so, like, it's, like, maybe not quite as, like, positive nearly as The Goblin Emperor, but it is still, like, very much the same kind of vibe of, like, this is his job, being the witness for the dead. You're gonna go through what he does in a day. Like, that's what these books are, and I enjoyed it. It's so, like, also, like, and so, yeah, so, and as I said, there is kind of, like, a murder mystery. There's, like, actually kind of, like, there's a couple of different mystery kind of things going on, and again, like, we get a little bit of the politics, but not as much, which is probably why I didn't love it as much as The Goblin Emperor. But I really like this world. I really like Catherine Addison's writing, and I don't love the character as much, and as I said, because it's like not as political focused, I don't love it as much, but like I am still fascinated by like the magic system, which we're getting obviously more of in here. I liked the mystery well enough, and so I had a good time. I have a plan for what I'm going to read. So I think next I'm going to read Paladin Strength by T. Kingfisher, because obviously I have read a T. Kingfisher, Sword Heart, and I have given it 5 stars, but I gave Paladin's Grace a 4 star. So again, this could be a 4 star, but I need an audiobook, so I'm going to listen to that. And then if that isn't a 5 star, which I would like if it was, but like I am so fussy, and like Sword Heart was like a shocking reveal to me, so like maybe not, so like I'm not super optimistic, but like it's definitely a possibility. So I'll give that a go. And then I think after that I want to try, I don't know how to pronounce it, but is it like Tuyo? But Emma fell in love with the series and has told me to read it, and so I want to read it, and I feel like this would be a good way to force me to read it. And then if that is not a 5 star, I'm gonna break out the big guns, guys. So at that point of the vlog, if I still have not gotten a 5 star, as I said at the start of the video that I would do a reread, but I have instead decided that I will finally read Fool's Quest by Robin Hobb. Hello. So I am like 65, I think, % of the way through Paladin Strength by T. Kingfisher, and I'm really liking it. I thought for a little bit, I was like, is it a 5 star? And now I'm not so sure, but also like I definitely like it more than Paladin's Grace, but I don't like it as much as Sword Heart, which Sword Heart was a 5 star, and Paladin's Grace was a 4 star, and it was like a fairly high 4 star. So I'm like, is it a low 5? Obviously I've not finished it yet, so I don't know, but we'll see how the end of it plays out, because sometimes I can definitely like get a little like burnt out, and this is quite a long one, but Sword Heart was also quite long and I really loved that, so we'll see. But it is definitely longer than book 1, but yeah, I don't know, it's just working a lot more than me. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I think I still have the clip. If I have the clip of me talking about Paladin's Grace, I'll include it in here, because I was reading it for another vlog, but then I cancelled it, so I could definitely have deleted it, but sometimes I hoard them for a while in case I change my mind. So I'll include that here, because it's really interesting looking at how I was talking about books, because I didn't know what was coming. I had preconceived notions, and I apologize to T. Kingfisher for that. Sword Heart and Paladin's Grace, the characters are a little too similar, the male main character and the main female character, whereas in this one it is actually a lot different. So and I said it in that one, I was like, it's always like big burly man and like quirky woman, and like that's not the case here, because it is big burly man and big burly woman, and I'm like there was definitely differences, but they were definitely more similar than this couple, and so I think that's why I'm enjoying this more. And also I did like take the month between reading the two, so I definitely am someone who gets burnt out if I read too much romance too quickly. So I'm having a good time. I'm really liking the characters. They like, once again, it's like very humor. I don't think I'm laughing quite as much as I did with Sword Heart, but like, you know, I'm giggling a little, you know, and just, yeah, there's just, see, I don't know what's a spoiler or not, so I can't really say. There's this particular plot point and she's hiding a secret, and like just like all of the kind of jokes that come with that is really funny to me. So yeah, so this one, obviously we follow one of the 7 paladins of steel, which are left, setting off to track down some information that we learn at the end of book 1. So it is like still connected to book 1, like there is like this creature, let's just say, that connects them, obviously, and also the fact that they're all like best buds. But and at the very start of the book, this woman who is a nun comes into his tent and is talking to him about basically this duel that he has just accidentally competed in, and she is basically using him to get, I guess, help to get to the next area safely, because she knows that there's bandits and stuff on the road, and while she thinks she could take them, she's not sure about it. And yeah, it's just, as I said, I really like the 2 characters. I really like their dynamic. Again, so I think in book 1 we actually see a character that we see in Sword Heart, and I got really excited over that. I was so happy. Whereas in this one, I think there are actually more like connections. Like, we don't actually like see maybe characters on the page that's like, oh, this is this character, this is this character, which we got one of in book one, but we're getting a lot more references. And I think I actually like that more, because like it's really starting to like shape the world, make all of it, including like the Clockwork Boys, that series, well, really starting to connect it all in. And I'm having a really good time. So I will update you later, I guess. Hello. So it's been it's been a good few days. It's been about 4 or 5 days since I last spoke to you, and that is because I finished Paladin Strength, and I don't know what I want to give it, and I still don't really know what I want to give it. I'm having a bit of an existential crisis on how I rate books, and so I'm like, is it a 4-star, is it a 5-star? Because like, if it's a 5-star, this video is over and I don't need to read anything else for it, but if it's a 4-star, I do need to read something for it, so I'm trying to figure it out. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it's one of them anyway. It might be Paladin Strength, it might be one of the other ones, because I'm slowly buying them, but they're really hard to come because of the fact that they're, yeah, it is. So, Paladin Strength, yay. I'm really struggling with why I want to read it. I don't know, because like, one part of me is just like, yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out rating kind of like lighter books, I guess, because a lot of the time I'm like, well, it just didn't make me like, you know, think or whatever, or like, you know, any stuff like that. And so I'm like, oh, 4-star, but then like, that's not the point of those books. It's, you know, like, and so, for example, so I've given 3 definite 5 stars. 2 of them are actually romances, and even then I'm still like doubting myself. So one is Sword Heart, one is Happy Place, and the third one is Jade City. And Jade City is the one where it's like the most, I guess, obvious, because it's like, you know, I was gripped and I was turning pages and I was so invested in the politics. I didn't love the characters, which did give me like a little bit of pause, but I was able to kind of look aside because by the end I was fascinated. And like, that's very much my style. I know what is a 5-star fantasy to me, whereas I don't know what a 5-star fantasy romance is. I mean, I gave Sword Art a 5-star because I just like had this, like, I was giggling all the time. I was smiling ear to ear, and like, it had me like, I had to keep stopping it because I didn't want it to end. Like, that kind of feeling. And I like, I guess this is a 5-star feeling, but like, I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to be feeling something different. I don't know. And like, I felt kind of the same way with Happy Place, and I also kind of felt that way with this, but like not as strongly, you know. So I don't know. It's either my highest 4-star or my lowest 5 of the year so far. So I still haven't decided. Hello. So I'm back, and I have decided I'm gonna give it a 5-star. Okay. And I think a big thing, like, number one, I do kind of want to read Fool's Quest, so I'm kind of sad that I don't get to continue the vlog because I don't know how else I'm going to fit it into my reading month because I have a lot of plans. So I was kind of excited for that, but I'll try and squeeze it in somehow. I think that's really new to me to rate, and so I don't really know, but like, I loved it. I had such a good time, and I loved the experience of reading it. So surely that means it's a 5-star. Like, because that's how my standard fantasy 5 stars are. But like, there's obviously like more to it, but it still comes down to that same factor, which is, did I love the book? Yes. So I think I am going to give it a 5-star, which isn't to say like this world, I think this book especially is actually, one of the reasons I did love this is because I think this one is really where like a lot of the connections and stuff are starting to come into play. I said it, I think, in my halfway update, is that like, while book 1 in this, so the first 2 books are the Clockwork Boys and the Wonder Engine, and then we have Sword Heart, and then we have the Saint of Steel series. So Paladin's Grace is obviously the first one, Paladin's Strength is the second. And I think while in the first book we have like a direct cameo kind of a character that is in Sword Heart, so like, and obviously like the whole point is like, she calls it like the world of the White Rat or something, because basically all of these books like are in some way connected to this temple of that like worships rats. It's me saying it makes it sound weird. It makes sense if you read it. But like, we've constantly been building and building and building on all of this stuff that we are learning, and the world and the plot. But in this one, like, while we didn't necessarily get like, oh my god, look, it's this character that we've seen before, there are a lot more direct mentions, and it really starts to create the picture of when all of the series kind of take place, comparing to each other, and just is really starting to create a whole picture. I really feel like I'm starting to understand every single aspect of the world, and so I think that is why I had such a fun time with this one. And I did really like the characters. I don't think I loved them as much as Sword Heart, which is why I prefer Sword Heart, but I still did like them. And as I said, I think for me, Paladin's Grace I read a little too closely to Sword Heart, and the two of them to me feel a bit similar, whereas this one I feel like the characters are a bit more different than those ones. So yes, so I had a really good time. I'm really excited to continue the series. I might be doing something that is unlike me, and so I will be reading it hopefully soon enough. So yes, but right before we go, I've recently, and by recently I mean like literally like 2 hours ago, got something very exciting in the mail. So I got my Tortured Poets Department hoodie. So I'm trying to see where I can put you. This is a really bad angle, I'm so sorry. So I like when merch is subtle, because I don't wear flashy clothes anyway, and so I'm not going to wear something with Taylor Swift's face on it, no matter how much I love Taylor Swift. Whereas this, and then that's the back. Like, it's beautiful. It's subtle. If you didn't know the Tortured Poets Department logo is that, you wouldn't really know. And so, because literally my mother said it, she said, is that from some book company? And I was like, no, ma'am, it's Taylor Swift. So I feel like it's a perfect blend of my interests. Taylor Swift, I like bookish stuff. So, also it's very soft. So yes, so new purchase. Anyway, so this was a fun video. I'm not sure I will be in a rush to do it again though. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.